Hello, Alabama. Details on Caden Proctor's injury. Could it hurt Bama this spring? Let's talk about that in a bit. But first, subscribe to our channel. Alabama enters the spring with a big question mark: the status of its offensive line, especially after the news that Caden Proctor will be limited in non-contact during the offseason. For a program that has grown accustomed to having one of the most dominant defensive backfields in college football, the absence of its star left tackle could be a concern, but it could also be an opportunity to test the depth of the roster and the adaptability of the group under Kalen DeBoer. Proctor's injury is no surprise, since, as DeBoer noted, most of the players sidelined this spring are still dealing with injuries from last season. But that doesn't lessen the impact of losing, even temporarily, such an important player. In any top-tier offense, the left tackle is a key player in protecting the quarterback and opening up space in the running game. Proctor is a rare talent, an elite player that any team would love to have as an anchor on the offensive line. Without him available, the Crimson Tide will need to find solutions, and quickly. The problem is that, as DeBoer himself acknowledged, there aren't many immediate answers. Olis Allen emerges as a possible name to fill the position, but he has more experience playing guard than tackle. His versatility could be useful, but the transition to a role with greater responsibility doesn't happen overnight. Another name that could get opportunities is Michael Carroll, a five-star recruit in the class of 2025, who has already been training at the position. Still, trusting a rookie to fill such a crucial role always involves risks. Alabama also added Arkell Anigwam, who came through the transfer portal from Ball State, as well as names like Jackson Lloyd, Mal Waldrep Jr. and Micah DeBose in the draft. But relying on newcomers or transfers to fill such a critical void could be a challenge and a real test of DeBoer's philosophy. The Crimson Tide coach has emphasized that he likes versatility on his offensive line. He wants players who are athletic and can play multiple positions, and that trait will be put to the test during spring practice. With Proctor out, Alabama will have a chance to experiment with different formations and try players in new roles. The question is whether, by the end of the process, the Tide will find a reliable solution to protect their quarterback and keep the offensive line at the level expected. The good news is that this is not an injury that will sideline Proctor for long. Ideally, he would be able to practice normally, but his recovery appears to be on track. For Alabama, the important thing now is to make sure the players available take advantage of the opportunity to grow and be ready if the team needs them during the season. And when Proctor returns to the field, he will be able to further strengthen a group that, with work and development, has the potential to be dominant. If there's one thing Alabama has taught us over the years, it's that talent and depth make all the difference in times of adversity. This will be a time of adjustment, testing and evolution. But there's no doubt that with DeBoer's leadership and the talent at hand, the Crimson Tide has what it takes to find the right answers. Everything changed last year, Bama, without Nick Saban. But 2024 was the year the program entered a new chapter with the leadership of Kalen DeBoer. And if there is one thing we can say for sure, it is that this new phase will not be defined only by the immediate results, but by the way the pillars of the future are being laid. DeBoer's rookie season brought moments that divided opinions. The victory against the Georgia Bulldogs was a reminder that Alabama still has the ability to compete on the biggest stages. However, the unexpected losses to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma exposed weaknesses that need to be corrected. It was not a perfect campaign, far from it, but it was not disastrous either. With a 9-4 record, DeBoer showed that there is work to be done, but he also left clear signs that the program is in good hands. What's most striking about the early days of the DeBoer era isn't just the games played on the field, but the way he and his coaching staff have connected with the future of the program, the recruits. The recent comment from Hayden Ainsworth, one of the most coveted names in the 2026 class, is a clear sign that Alabama continues to attract elite talent. Ainsworth not only acknowledged the Crimson Tide's storied status, but also expressed confidence in the vision of DeBoer and his assistants. For a program that lives and breathes tradition, Hearing that from such a promising player is like seeing the first brick of a new foundation being laid. Recruiting has always been a hallmark of Alabama under Saban, and it seems DeBoer has quickly understood the importance of maintaining that standard. The mention of offensive line coach Chris Kapilovic is especially relevant. Not only has he been seeking out big names to bolster the roster, but he's also invested time and effort in building genuine relationships with young players. In the modern world of college football, where the transfer portal and the NIL have changed the rules of the game, these human connections can make all the difference. It's important to remember that DeBoer is just getting started. The pressure on him is enormous, of course, but it's also fair to acknowledge that he's inherited a challenging landscape. Rebuilding a program after the departure of a legend like Saban is no easy task. Still, the signs so far are positive. The combination of big wins, a group of excited recruits and a coaching staff committed to revitalizing the program suggests that Alabama is on the right track. However, as the story rightly points out, 2025 will be a pivotal year. Patience in Tuscaloosa is limited, and the expectation is clear: to win at least 10 games again. That may seem like an arbitrary number, but in the context of Alabama, it's almost a line between success and question marks. If DeBoer can achieve that goal, he will have taken a significant step towards cementing his position as the right man to lead the Crimson Tide into this new era. If not, the external noise, the kind that is already beginning to emerge on social media and in sports debates, will only grow louder. But looking at the bigger picture, there is reason to be optimistic. Alabama has never been just about a coach or a specific group of players. It is a well-oiled machine, supported by infrastructure, culture, and a winning mentality that transcends generations. Kalen DeBoer has the opportunity to write his own chapter in that story, and all indications are that he is embracing that opportunity with seriousness and dedication. As fans and analysts debate the future, it is worth remembering that Alabama is about much more than a single season or a single result. It is a program that breathes excellence, and even in times of transition, it continues to attract the best talent and minds in football. With recruits like Hayden Ainsworth expressing faith in the current project, it's clear that the Crimson Tide's legacy is far from over. Let's keep moving forward. Speaking of Jalen Milroe, what will it be like? Jalen Milroe's performance at the 2025 NFL Combine was a microcosm of what he's been like as a player, an intriguing mix of raw talent, untapped potential, and areas of refinement. For Alabama fans, the event brought out the same feelings they've experienced during his time in Tuscaloosa: flashes of brilliance, but also questions about consistency. From the start of the throwing session, it was clear that Milroe was determined to show his progress as a passer. He started off strong, connecting with 3 receivers on back-to-back slant routes. However, even on those early passes, there were signs that accuracy is still an area of work to be done. One of the balls landed slightly ahead of the target, something that may not seem so relevant now but will certainly be amplified in the fast-paced, competitive NFL. Still, those early moments provided a glimpse of his powerful arm and ability to put the ball where few quarterbacks can. As the routes deepened, Milroe seemed to find his feet. The quarterback showed greater comfort on long passes, hitting receivers in the sidelines with room to run after the catch. That ability was a hallmark of his 2024 season at Alabama, when he completed 22 of 56 passes of 20 yards or more, producing 10 touchdowns and just 3 interceptions. The numbers show that he thrives when he can drive the ball, as NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah noted, but they also expose his limitations on anticipatory throws and intermediate layers. Kurt Warner's analysis was particularly telling. He noted that Milroe needs to learn to trust his receivers more, letting them do the work rather than relying on his physical strength to quickly connect with passes. That adjustment will be crucial as he transitions to the NFL, where the margin for error is minimal and efficiency is rewarded. Warner knows better than anyone that a quarterback's success depends as much on intelligence as arm strength, and Milroe is still finding that balance. It wasn't all criticism, though. Jeremiah was emphatic that any team that drafts Milroe will be acquiring an elite runner. The comparison to Anthony Richardson, known for his explosiveness on the field, is a significant compliment. Although Milroe decided not to run the 40-yard dash at the combine, his reputation as a dual-threat quarterback is already well established. His ability to stretch defenses with his legs offers a unique dimension that few QBs available in the draft can match. But it was on the semi-short and lateral routes that Milroe struggled the most. Dropping several passes and forcing awkward catches, he made it clear that there was still work to be done in terms of accuracy and mechanics. Jeremiah summed it up best when he said that Milroe has a hose, referring to his impressive arm strength, but that the next step is to direct it more efficiently. Small adjustments in his footwork and ability to read defenses can make a big difference. Off the field, Milroe has shown maturity in recognizing his own areas of improvement. His statement that he wants to be better by this time next year reflects a mindset focused on continued growth. He knows he's not a finished product yet, but he's also aware that his skill set, especially his combination of strong arm and exceptional mobility, makes him a valuable asset to any team willing to invest time in his development. Draft analysts seem divided on Milroe's value. While some mock drafts project him as a second-round pick, others see him as a risk-reward gamble. His ranking as the fifth quarterback selected in some mock drafts reflects both the skepticism and the fascination he generates. Teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, 52nd, and Cleveland Browns, 94th, are emerging as potential destinations, where he could develop under veteran tutelage or in systems tailored to his characteristics. Ultimately, the 2025 Combine didn't radically change the narrative around Jalen Milroe, but it certainly added important nuance. He's not just a quarterback with a powerful arm and quick legs, he's a player who's learning to navigate the complexities of his position. If he can turn his potential into consistent production, there's a real chance he could become a household name in the NFL. But that will require patience, both from Milroe and the team that takes a chance on him. For Alabama fans, seeing Milroe at the Combine was a reminder that the program's legacy lives on, even as its players move on to new challenges. Let us know what you think.